And good morning and welcome to Quality Perks. I'm here, Karyn Dupree with Neil Eggers and our guest, Matt Grinitz. Did I do okay?
Grintz.
Yeah, Grintz. I'm horrible. I'm horrible with pronunciations. So welcome all to BPA Quality. I believe we might be having a slight technical. Nope, we're good. So we're on LinkedIn now. And so I hope to see everyone at Engage next week. Again, like I said, I know that we weren't recording, but I'm Karyn Dupree and with Neil Eggers. You want to start us off, Neil?
Yeah, absolutely. So always live episodes always have some type of glitch in it. So yes. The pressures of doing things live, what can we say? Yes. Welcome everybody. Matt's here joining us again for an exciting return engagement. I know everybody out there in the social media world has been waiting on bated breath for Matt's return to Quality Perks. So we're excited to have him with us. And yes, the three of us are going to be out in Las Vegas next week for Verint Engage. So we're super excited about that. And we wanted to just have an episode this week as kind of a preview for what we're going to be talking about with customers while in the Solutions Lounge and at breakout sessions and participating in all the extracurricular events. So we're excited to talk about technology and quality and speech analytics and all of those things that are wrapped up into the event. But before getting into that, first things first, we need to talk about coffee. Karyn, what do we have today?
I am drinking a Charleston Organic. It's a medium roast ground coffee. Something that I found locally. So it's a smooth, bright, and welcoming, inspired by our hospitable hometown in Charleston.
Sounds like my personality.
Absolutely. I would totally agree with that. They started in 2005 and it is organic. So I don't have to worry about anything crazy in my coffee, but the caffeine.
Good thinking. Matt, what do you got? Lay it on us.
Well, I think last time I was on, I was kind of a coffee noob. I was drinking decaf Starbucks or some garbage like that. So I've significantly upped my coffee game since I was last on. I went as far as buying a proper drip coffee maker, no more of these pods. So I'm more environmentally friendly now. And I've developed a taste for black coffee. So now the actual type of coffee matters a little more. I've been exploring different kinds. I accidentally ordered myself a sampler pack of different coffees from around the world. I say accidentally because I bought it as a gift for a cousin, got 2 of them by mistake. I'll take it. So I found that Ethiopian coffee, Peruvian coffee, all sorts of different roasts and blends. And but today I'm drinking a very boring Dunkin' Donuts medium roast. So
wow,
I know it was a lot of buildup for.
You set it up.
I will say though that I've also got a special mug today. This is my Snuffleupagus mug from Sesame Place. It does say, I believe in coffee. Not an imaginary friend here. This is a necessary part of every morning, 2 to 3 cups worth. So thanks for having me today.
Is Quality Perks directly responsible for your coffee addiction? Or, I mean,
not my addiction.
A gateway to this?
I feel like you guys shamed me last time with my poor choice of coffee. And maybe I set myself up to be shamed once again with the regular Dunkin' Donuts blend, but I'm just trying to share that I've grown a bit more worldly in my coffee choices. So when I've got when I have them on hand, I like to dabble with different types of coffee now.
So to make up for your Dunkin' Donuts brew, next time you're on, we're going to want you to actually drip coffee, make it in front of us.
I'll drown you guys out with the sound of the grinder in here.
Perfect. Yeah, we should up our game a little bit, I think. Yeah. Well, I was on vacation last week in kind of Western United States, Wyoming, and I went to Jackson Hole and picked up some fresh coffee from Jackson Hole Brewery. So I don't have the bag to show you, but it is in the Eggers hand-me-down. I think this has been in my family for, I don't know, 3 or 4 generations. So I'll try not to break it during the episode, but here's the cup from the Eggers coffee cup supply. So we'll move that aside, and we're done talking about coffee for 5 minutes. So we'll move to next week. So in our continuing our green room and our prep conversations, Karyn, we've got to figure out a way to record these, because I think that our green room and prep discussions are way more entertaining than our live episodes. So it's not a blooper reel, it's a behind the scenes. I don't know what it is, but we'll figure out a way to record it and get it out there. But there's lots of conversations that we're excited to have with customers next week. Matt, I know that there's 2 specific areas that you're passionate about talking about when it comes to managing a holistic quality monitoring program. One of those is from a resource perspective. A customer may not have the resources to properly deploy and execute a program over a period of time. Another option may be, I don't know how to use this. I have it. I'm not getting the value out of it because I need somebody to help me. So which one of those do you want to talk about first? Which one is not that there's any order, but
no. And we honestly, we hear both of those comments from our customers in equal measure. So I'll start with the first one you mentioned, which is the resource depletion, or the lack of bench strength in some cases. So we hear this often. It's not specific to Verint customers. It's really anybody getting any new technology to support their quality organization. We often hear, a year, maybe even 6 months into their journey with their new tech, they'll come to us and say, the launch was great. We built everything. Everything's working correctly as we expected it to. We trained a few people to do this full time, and we found that either those people who went through the training have positively attrited, so they've been promoted, or they've moved internally at the organization, or they've left the organization, or that they've just become so bogged down with other responsibilities that they don't have the bandwidth to provide to properly cultivating and maximizing the value from their speech tool. So we love this conversation because this is where we excel, really. One of the things that we provide is a full service team ready to help you run your speech program. That includes project management, strategic vision, so we can help run the thing to maximize the value. It includes speech specialists, AQM specialists, the people who really spend all of their time listening to calls, tweaking these categories to make sure that they align to your business goals, and even coming up with new ideas for how we can research a matter, how we can build new categories, quantify things differently, look at things differently. So that's a vital role, and that's really where we find that most organizations don't have the bench strength that we can provide. And so we're happy to provide it. We also, as part of that deal, we also include the analysis portion. So obviously that's critical. The data is meaningless unless we can extract meaning from it. So we have a whole team here that we can call upon that includes business analysts, it includes data scientists, psychometricians. So we can do the advanced analysis, the advanced mathematics. We like to pull in data sources from up and down an organization, not just what we extract from speech. We like to look at traditional remote call monitoring quality scores and the things that we measure through those programs. We love to look at CSAT. We love to look at anything that's voice of the customer is really impactful, because we can see, hey, you know what, we don't like to work in a silo here. We want to see what is the impact of this on the actual customer. So can we find calls? Can we look at the influence of certain behaviors on the outcomes as stated by customers? And that's a real critical thing for us, and that's really at the heart of what we feel is a properly run and an effective quality organization.
Yeah, for sure. So it's a lot of value realization, right? So it's driving to the outcomes that the business is needing, and then realizing the value from that. So paying for the services, the outlay to get the technology, but making sure that you're covering those costs by moving mountains and solving problems. Absolutely.
Yeah, you're right. We even in cases where there is a strong strategic vision, it's the lack of resource that we can help fill. The other issue that you mentioned at the start, Neil, was a bit of a different challenge that we hear from some of our customers, which is I don't have the strategic vision. So I've got the evaluators, I've got the specialists here. They've gone through training. They're effective at writing these categories, but we don't know how to maximize that. We don't know how to get the most out of this. We're really hoping that this tool could help us solve problems, could dig into some issues, but we just don't know how. And we love that conversation as well, because we can help provide that strategic vision. We can talk about the organization's goals and then work backwards from there. How do we develop programs, BI initiatives, AQM, automated quality forms, outlier management? How do we harness the power of all of those initiatives to work in lockstep towards achieving those organizational goals? And that's something that we excel in as well. And so we love to hear customers come to us with that, because we know that they're already engaged. They want to realize value from the tool. They've already invested in the tool, and we're just here to help them, help guide them, if you will, towards.
How do those conversations start? Like, so you specifically that second one, right, where you've got, a customer may have the infrastructure and the resources available, but somebody comes up to you and says, I've got this, but I don't know how to get started with all of this. How do I develop a strategic vision for this technology? How do I identify opportunities that a customer may already know what they have. They may have problems, right? They may have, high return calls. They may have, FCR may be high. They may be, have irritated customers on a certain driver. How do you start? Like, that seems like trying to define space. Where do you go with that?
Yeah, that's a good question, Neil. So we consider that there are multiple sources of inspiration, if you will, right? Multiple triggers to lead us down specific strategic pathways, right? Sometimes they come from the executive C-suite, right? Like, we have organizational goals that we want to meet. It may be about reducing call time. It may be about reducing repeat contacts. We have other observations that come from the bottom. So it may be from the regular remote call monitoring activity. Evaluators hear things that might fall through the cracks otherwise. And those observations are critical in highlighting areas where speech can really shine, right? What it's best at is quantifying large volumes of things. So if we hear one small observation from one lonely evaluator, we can turn that into something much broader by building a category, quantifying, to really understand the breadth of the issue before we start tackling the problems themselves. So really, there's lots of different sources of inspiration, Neil, for how we might kick off a specific journey using speech. But I think in general, it's about having an organization that's structured to handle this type of work. So it's about having the project management, the specialists ready to go. It's about understanding where the challenges are within the business and how speech can help drive results in impacting or influencing those KPIs, those metrics.
Yeah, you trigger something there with the quantification of opportunities or situations. And I can remember a conversation that we were having with a customer where they said, we knew we were having this issue. Clearly, we knew we were having this issue, but we weren't able to quantify it until we went through this exercise. And now we realize the impact that it's having on our business, and having that detail allows us to then pivot within the organization and say, here's the evidence to support what we knew was happening, but we couldn't quantify it. And without that quantification, we couldn't move forward or put solutions in place. So now we have it. And I think that that's a super powerful part about having a team this is what they do, right? I mean, they're not doing other things, as you indicated. They're not bogged down with other responsibilities, and they're highly trained and experienced. They're not kind of figuring it out as they go. They're backed with experience and motivation to correct those opportunities. So I thank you for bringing that memory up.
Yeah, and one of the ways that we I think facilitate that process is by really trying to become part of our client organizations. So, and what I mean by that is we try to go through agent training, or at least review it in detail if possible. We want to be, we want to sit in the seat that the agents are sitting in, right? Understand what their challenges are. What is it like? What does the call flow look like? What are the requirements? What are the expectations set on these agents? And really having a thorough understanding of knowledge bases, standard operating procedures. All of that is really critical to running an effective speech program. If we don't know all of that detail in advance, it's hard to identify what might be important. And so having that baseline of knowledge and really understanding what makes this client tick, what are the specific pain points for customers, for agents, for leadership, that really helps us to drive more effective results, more interesting findings that are better aligned to the reality that they're facing at their organizations. So, sometimes we joke that we feel like we're more part of our client organizations than our own, and sometimes our clients feel the same way, right? They consider us an internal partner as opposed to a vendor or a third party. And it's a sign of success for us.
Yeah, once we get into a relationship with a customer, we're no longer BPA Quality. We're that customer's quality department, their quality arm, and we need to be included in all those aspects. It's not BPA's quality, program. It's us leveraging the resources of our clients and being a part of them to put a quality program together that fits their specific needs. It's not shrink wrapped off the shelf. So yeah, good points all around. Well, we are excited next week to be at Engage. Come visit us in the Solutions Lounge under the BPA banner. We will be there, the three of us. Of course, we'll be at breakout sessions. As we mentioned, we'll be at all the events associated with the conference. We're super excited to be there as a part of it. I think this is our 5th or 6th year that we've been there. So we're excited to be part of it again and get to speak to all of you, make new relationships, and get together with old contacts and have a good time out there and learn some good things about Verint and all their products and services. So Matt, Karyn, thank you for another intriguing, interesting show. Matt, work on your coffee game for your next Engage. We'll probably have a recap. I think it makes sense to get you on as many times as we possibly can.
Yes,
so we can learn how you've moved on in your coffee game and maybe what we learned at Engage.
I feel like this is a trap. You just want to insult my coffee choices further.
Nah, not at all.
Pretty much. There's always interior motives. Thank you, everybody. We will see you next week. And those who we don't see, we'll see you on social media or wherever else we may find you. Take care and have a great rest of your week.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.